Clearly remember it was 20th July 2006, and I was watching in the late night this film called Top Gun by Tom Cruise, the first one. And I was like, "Ye karna hai." There, with that understanding, I went on to assist in Excel, a casting director called Nandini Shrikant. I assisted her on films like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. What I feel every actor should spend some time behind the camera. Gully Boy, she was the casting director, and from her casting company, I got a call. The idea is that you need to be secure enough that yes, I am an actor, I have it in me, and then go all out. Now, who is going to call, who not call? It's up to them. I feel the sense of security, the sense of self confidence is a lot to do with your intentions. Because if you have hidden agendas, it will bring down your confidence level. Be prepared for everything. Be prepared for 100 no's also, or maybe you might get in the first go. Very good team player. Like, he is all in for making a film great. Watching me on PunjabKesari.com.
So today we have a young lad with us who has been striving hard and quite thriving in a cutthroat industry like us since 2011, and he has this infectious energy and impeccable fashion statement the moment I observed him, and a very baritone voice strikingly at this young age, which is very resonant to some of the industry veterans. So we have with us Nakul Roshan Sahdev, and he's making the right noise for his upcoming film Murderbaad that's releasing on 18th of July in the theatres daily. Thank you so much, Nakul, for being with us.
Thank you so much, Ishita ma'am. Sorry, Ishita, like you said, this is a wonderful introduction. I'm quite honored.
Thank you.
I hope whatever you have said, if I can achieve and be 10% of that, it's a huge success to start with.
No, it will be. Let's manifest, so that you have a very bright career ahead of you. And so let's move back. Let's time travel, and let's find out because you were born in Rajasthan. So how come you land up in Mumbai, and then you started your journey at a quite young age, like 2011. So how did that all happen?
Ma'am, so to be very honest, I was always more into sports. And I was very bad in studies. So I try to figure out every possible way how I can miss classes.
Okay.
Sports, because whenever we had state camps, so you miss the half yearlies. So that was one ticket. And whenever you participate in anything around stage, you can take off from the class to prepare and be around stage. So that's how the stage thing started happening. But I clearly remember it was 20th July 2006, and I was watching in the late night this film called Top Gun by Tom Cruise, the first one. And I was like, "Ye karna hai." I had no idea, like how this movie business, because back in the days there was no like internet or social media to have that sort of exposure. But yes, it all started from an innocent dream, I would say, where I had no idea how these things function. I came to Mumbai so the first goal was to somehow reach Mumbai. And I enrolled in NMIMS for BCom honors.
Okay.
And about 6 months into it, I realized I'm not cut out for this, so I dropped out from there. And then I joined Whistling Woods because I wanted to study properly what filmmaking is and everything. Spent 2 years. That was an eye opener. That's when I realized that it's not all about the glitz and what you the final product, what we see, but there is a lot to the process. There, with that understanding, I went on to assist in Excel, a casting director called Nandini Shrikant. I assisted her on films like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and it was a beautiful journey. Like first time you're directly entering Excel, which is the finest production houses in India. So yeah, it was a great start. I was what, 19ish at that time, but yeah, thank you. I started behind the camera.
So you started, like, you landed in Mumbai, and then you joined an acting school. So right after that, you joined as a casting assistant. And then you worked. Your first experience of films was behind the camera.
Correct.
And then you did a serial called Ishan. Right? That's for Disney Channel.
Right.
So that happened after that? Okay. So how was that transition?
So that's also like a stroke of luck, I would say. My senior was working because Red Chillies at that time was Red Chillies Idiot Box was making this project called 4G2. You remember the Shahrukh
Yeah, yeah,
4G?
yeah, I remember.
And they were remaking it,
Yeah.
and seniors were there in it. And in production, they were discussing, like we're coming up with this teenage kind of a project. Do you guys know any actors?
Okay.
So Sahil Ved, he recommended my name in the production.
Hmm.
They called me and like, I went, I auditioned, and that's how I got it. So I thought like, why do people make it look so difficult and all of that? But the good thing is like I observe, and even when I look back in time, the number one thing is that you need to be always around the work you're doing in the industry you're in, and always be busy. Like I hate empty time, because when your mind is active, you are more in the process, and you're always something leading to another, and that's how my career has been crafted. So,
Yeah.
and I can always connect the dots backward. Like I cannot, like
Yeah.
I cannot project it in the future. But yeah,
True. That's true. But I just have like two cents of my own.
sure,
The thing is like, say, I feel कि एक तो कैसा है कि when things pop, due to sheer luck or your hard work, when things start falling, in the right place, then
yeah,
you feel, it's not like it was not so difficult. Right?
correct.
Being from a small town or from a small place, like I myself, I'm from a smaller place than Mumbai.
Where are you from?
I'm from Guwahati.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So like I understand कि उस टाइम पे ऐसा लगता है यार this is like a far fetched dream, मतलब ये सब
Correct.
तो कैसे लोग क्या करेंगे.
Right.
Now even I know कि जब आई and then I started working, तो मतलब हो जाता है, pay हो जाता है, but obviously to their own, किसी का जल्दी होता है, किसी का थोड़ा late होता है.
Correct.
But now for actors I have seen this because it's kind of a freelance thing, right?
Yeah,
You
right.
are not busy all the time.
Right.
And obviously you have to work on yourself, your craft, networking, वगैरह वगैरह.
Right.
But at the same time, as you said, it's very crucial to be, because there are very many verticals. ऐसा
Right.
नहीं कि सिर्फ acting ही करो. Just
Correct.
you did casting.
Right.
Then you might also, you might also assist a director.
Right.
Or you might work in the production house. मतलब these
Right.
similar verticals are which is not directly related to acting,
Right.
but it helps an actor be busy. So do you think कि जो आपने किया था,
Yeah.
because you work as a casting assistant, do you think it helped in your first acting project?
Of course. So I honestly believe, now this is my understanding, and it cannot be a hard bent rule, but what I feel every actor should spend some time behind the camera, because you understand the overall process of filmmaking. You develop the respect for the entire process, and uh, there are a lot of things which like false promises, how the casting happened, all of that is outside the window.
Yeah.
Because you're in the game, you're directly understanding how actually casting process happens.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest learnings. So I never had to be like, people can pull you, or because you're there, you're seeing from the horse's mouth, you're discussing the casting process. When I used to go with Nandini as an assistant, meetings where when the casting person is discussed, what are the critical areas they're looking at when they're looking at a performance, when they're saying, okay, shortlist this person and why not this person.
Like
You know. And as an actor, you have to give the cues, right? So if you have come for the audition, I always thought that ये मेरी practice हो रही है. You need to see what's in it for me, and you can always figure out. Maybe the direct greed of being in front of the camera, your dream, in that moment it might not be getting satisfied. But if you're in it for a long haul, you will figure it out. And when talking about, like you rightly mentioned, that when you are there and you are not continuously busy, because you have a project and then you are free. I was, even after doing Ishan, I was always open for short film collaborations, because it's a process, it's a craft which needs to be polished again and again, and it doesn't work in isolation. People might say that, do this mirror exercise and all of that. Good for them if it works, but for me, what works is collaborating with as many people as possible. Then we talked about the when you mentioned about the hardship, like after that, 3 of my films were lying in boxes. They have not seen the day of light. So you go through that also.
Yeah, true.
But because you have been in that process, so you understand and you empathize with the process. And I mean, you go with all your might that this will be my next big thing.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, then you move on to the next one and see, okay, which one. But you have to do it with same integrity and same passion every single time.
Because I have also noticed that, like, if we talk, or if any actor is watching or something, from their perspective, if I say, like,
Yeah.
Anybody coming from from a small place,
Yeah.
from a small city or town, एक तो ये बहुत है, एक तो अफवाह भी है because of this casting couch thing,
Yeah.
and then people making fool of you, either ripping you off your money,
Correct.
or like taking you in a wrong direction.
Yeah.
बहुत लोगों का वो inhibition हो जाता है कि
Right.
यार, am I meeting the right people, am I doing the right thing?
Right.
तो वो बहुत ज्यादा, क्योंकि मुंबई itself is a very busy place, it's a big city.
Right.
तो वो मैनूवर करना कि कौन सही है गलत है, and
Right.
there's no right way in a path.
Right.
In acting,
Correct.
there's no one correct way.
Right.
Each of them have their own journey.
Right.
Finally, as you said, it's always you can join the dot backwards.
Right.
आप जब करते रहते हो, you don't know where you
Yeah,
end up.
yeah.
You don't even know, like, when you were working in casting.
Yeah.
Obviously your intention was कि I need to be part of the industry so
Right.
that मैं जानूं कि क्या होता है behind the camera,
जी.
and also it gives you a mojo.
Right.
चलो, I'm with the right people,
Right.
I'm doing the right thing, क्योंकि
Right.
or else you might feel lost.
Yeah.
और randomly किसी को कैफे में जाके मिलना, या इससे अच्छा है you be apart, चाहे
Do it with your
behind the
work.
camera. हाँ,
That your dedication, your
exactly.
who you are, your
हाँ.
professionalism.
But उस टाइम पे ऐसा नहीं होता है कि you also didn't, मतलब उस टाइम पे ऐसा, मतलब you were doing it for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
And but कोई किसी को ये नहीं पता होता है कि कल को whether you will land up an acting gig because of that or not.
No,
It
no.
might happen, it might not happen.
Yeah.
It might happen instantly, it might take a very long time.
Right.
तो जैसे बहुत एक्टर्स ये होते हैं ना कि आजकल जैसे I have seen a trend कि casting directors mention करते थे, like,
Yeah.
if you want to be an actor, then
Yeah.
don't come as an associate intern, because
Yeah.
you will have a wrong agenda,
Yeah.
or maybe you will not give your 100% in casting, so we don't
Yeah.
need actors.
Yeah.
अभी वो हो गया, क्योंकि
Yeah.
बीच में ऐसा बहुत हो गया था कि because people think कि this is a shortcut. बहुत
Yeah.
बहुत
Yeah.
लोगों का ये भी होता है.
Yeah.
And then you are not honest to the job that you were doing at that point.
Correct.
So what is your perspective on that?
Ma'am, they're absolutely right. So I'll share my perspective as to in what light they have shared this.
I just interrupting you.
Yeah.
I just want you to answer in a way कि जो actors हैं अभी, अगर वो ये देख रहे हैं,
Right.
and they might think कि acting के अलावा और क्या करें.
Correct.
करना भी चाहिए, but at
Yeah.
the same time, as you said, you need to put your integrity and hard work in any job you're doing, even
Absolutely.
if it is not in the मतलब acting में अगर आप छोटे प्रोजेक्ट भी कर रहे हो तो भी उतना दो,
Right.
अगर casting में तो भी उतना दो.
Right.
उसके बाद क्या होगा वो बाद में देखा जाएगा.
Correct.
So yeah, now you can answer.
So, ma'am, the perspective there is, see, if I as an actor go and join a casting company, thinking that because इनके पास तो directly काम आता है तो मैं यहाँ fit कर लूँ, मैं वहाँ fit कर लूँ. I think why that Excel really worked for me. I never looked at, because you know the projects you're working on. I never looked at a project and said, "इसका मैं audition कर लूँगा." I always thought Nandini is more experienced than me. If she will feel right, she will only tell me, "No, that audition for this." You have to do it with the right intention that this is my job right now.
Yeah, right.
Not within that hidden agenda of, oh, मैं casting circuit में रहूँगा तो because hidden agendas always, hinders the process. It sets up the wrong equation with you. Like, imagine if I come and I say, oh, do this interview because ABCD happens with you. Ask me these questions so that ABCD happens with you. You'll be like, Nakul, you don't want to share your journey. You just want to get done with your agenda. That's how I see things. And when you do it with the honest intention, things happen. So now imagine in 2011, I was working, right, with Nandini. In the entire process, I never called Nandini saying that, is there an opportunity for me? I could have done that, right? Like I've worked with her.
Obviously, yeah.
Gully Boy, she was the casting director. And from her casting company, I got a call. Now, after what, 6 and 7 years? Now, it's not that I was hopeful that Nandini will call me.
Yeah.
The idea is that you need to be secure enough that yes, I am an actor, I have it in me, and then go all out. Now, who is going to call, who not call? It's up to them. When you work with a filmmaker, don't say, oh, they're going to call me for the second time. If you'll do it honestly, maybe they like you, but the second project they're doing, they don't have a space for you. That doesn't mean they don't like your work.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that puts a lot of security as a human being, because I feel the sense of security, the sense of self-confidence is a lot to do with your intentions. Because if you have hidden agendas, it will bring down your confidence level. So that is for the actors, I would say.
And I think it hinders the work that you're doing currently. Also, like you set unnecessary expectations for yourself.
Yeah.
And अगर वो नहीं होता है, then you will get into depression.
Yeah.
Already it's a tough journey. So
Right.
why do you have to, amplify that
Right.
struggle? Yeah, obviously. And then, and for you also, if I see like 2011, maybe उससे पहले आपने casting किया. But
Yeah.
it took considerable years for you too. Like in
Right.
spite of knowing the right people, in
Right.
spite of working with them,
Yeah.
behind the camera ही सही.
Yeah.
But you took your own time. ऐसा
Yeah.
नहीं है कि उनको पहचानते हो कि तू फटफट हो गया. Because बहुत लोग ये भी सोच जाते हैं कि if I do this, ये है shortcut, मेरे को फटफट काम मिल जाएगा, and then everything goes for a toss. Your mental health,
Yeah.
especially, So that shouldn't happen, guys. I mean, that's a takeaway from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then finally, okay, now moving forward to your films, like because these are big films like Gully
Yeah.
Boy, Paglet, and then one more film.
The web series Candy and
Yeah, exactly.
Bichoy Nambia's Dange.
Dange, exactly. So how was your experience? Who were your favorite co-actors? Your learning, your pranks on set, anything like related to those projects?
No, every project there is a new ecosystem. And I always go with that. Okay, let's go as a team player. That's what I learned from Ranveer, because that's what how he operated. And you always learn from your seniors.
Yeah.
That's what you do, right? When you observe, you're not there to chit chat, gossip. कि मैं इसका दोस्त बन जाऊं तो मैं ये हो जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता.
So no hidden agendas. I think you should never have it. Just enjoy
the process, and people will enjoy your company more.
So true.
So that's how things happen. Like Gully Boy happened. Now Gully Boy was going as a official. It was representing India in Oscars. Guneet ma'am was the committee head. She's the president of Indian Oscar Committee. She saw the film, right? When it's going there. She was making a film and she was like, "Arey, mujhe mera Aditya mil gaya in Paglet." So then they called me for the meeting, and then they were like, I met Umesh sir and Guneet ma'am was so sweet. They were like, "Arey, thank you, Smita, for saying yes to the film." I was like, "Ma'am, like, thank you for considering me." So that happened. Bijoy, he was so sweet. He gave me the script and he was like, "यार ये बना रहा हूँ और तू देख के बता तेरे को कैसा लग रहा है और क्या करना है फिर अपन देखते हैं." At that time, he shared. Then suddenly, for like almost close to a year, 8 months, we never spoke again. And then suddenly he's like, "अरे मैं ये कर रहा हूँ करेगा." So अगर कोई आपको बोलता भी, just think of this कि they're considering you. They have you in your thoughts. That's a big enough confidence. Don't think that when they're not calling you back, oh, you know what, he's a sly person. It's not like that. They have 1,000 things to do. Like, just understand, making the smallest budget film is nothing less than 5 crores in today's time. Do you think anybody will try and see, ये अच्छा ये बुरा है, मैं इससे बुरा मान गया, मैं नहीं करूँगा? Nobody has the time. They are so focused that they want to get their project right anyhow. And there are multiple factors to it. So rather than trying to understand and try to connect how do I reach there, leave that. Look at the bigger picture. How many filmmakers are there? So if you have called me for a meeting and if I'm only focusing on your meeting, I will become insecure. There are the blessing is there are at least 500 makers right now. OTTs is there, there are films are there. If somebody is open for television, then television industry in itself is so huge. So your possibilities is so much. I'm sure once you do that, you figure out a better opportunity.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think, जैसे कि obviously it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
To each their journey. बहुत लोगों का शायद गंदा अच्छा जो भी experience रहा होता है, सबका अपना मतलब एक struggle.
Right.
At the same time, as you said, कि you cannot be like relying on one person.
Yes.
एक तो वो, और secondly like you should not be very kind of rigid कि मुझे यही करना है, वो थोड़ा flexible भी होना पड़ेगा. And nowadays I think in today's time, at least the current scenario, everything is there out.
Right.
सब कुछ है.
Right.
You just need to have your own brains
Right.
to access those resources. है.
Right.
तो
Absolutely.
tough है. I
Yeah.
know. बहुत सारी information बाहर नहीं आती है for a newcomer. Like
Right.
still people don't know कि अच्छे roles कब audition हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है.
Right.
Maybe ad का हो जाता है, इसका हो जाता है.
Correct.
There is a certain kind of a struggle still there.
Yeah.
लेकिन बहुत सारी information अभी है भी.
Right.
And if you use your brain, तो maybe you will yourself know कि कौन सही इंसान है, कौन गलत. क्योंकि बहुत लोग बॉम्बे आके ना lost हो जाते हैं.
Right.
क्योंकि उनको यही नहीं पता होता है कि मतलब because there are so many people who claim to be so much more.
Yeah.
And then you get lured by.
Right.
जो because you don't use your brains.
Right.
ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने तुमको फंसा लिया. अरे
Right.
तुम भी अपना दिमाग मगज हो. There is Google about
Yeah.
it. Everything is there out. So what do you think about मतलब those as a newcomer अगर कोई आ रहा है
Yeah.
and you want to give them कि यार ये right direction क्योंकि एक right direction नहीं है.
Yeah.
At least be safe
Yeah.
and enjoy your work.
Yeah.
There is work.
Right.
There is there are certain things you can do.
Yeah.
Wherein at least you will end up in the right place.
Correct.
ऐसा नहीं कि तुम कहीं पे भी भटक रहे हो. भटको
Correct.
मत.
Correct.
मतलब. So what do you have to suggest them?
Just a basic Google search.
Yeah.
I'm saying 20 top casting directors in India.
Mm-hmm.
You will get the list.
Ah.
Everybody has an Instagram page.
Yeah. Exactly.
You will get their email addresses. Now these are direct email addresses from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
You send your pictures there. Now understand that today you send your picture and you're thinking कि एक हफ्ते बाद कौन आ जाएगा, then again wrong expectation. It will take its own sweet time because I've worked. I know when there are 500 emails, you go through it, and trust me, casting team really works hard because they have to. So it's all okay. ये इस age group के हैं, इनको यहाँ पर वो आपके date of birth से नहीं चलता है. We don't put into the category of date of birth. Like okay, this person will be, like you mark North Indian में जाएगा, कश्मीरी में जाएगा, आप सब कुछ select करके रखते हो. Ads is a beautiful medium to get discovered because when we are there back in the days as assistant casting directors, we'll go through ads and be like, अरे ये नया कौन आया, इसका कहीं से email address या निकालो यार. अभी तो और easy हो गया कि social media पे reach out कर लो because पहले वो नहीं था. So you need to keep doing stuff. I mean, good if somebody has a confidence to say मैं आते ही सिर्फ lead करूँगा. Nothing. Again, like I said, there is no right and wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then be prepared for everything.
Yeah.
Be prepared for 100 no's also, or maybe you might get in the first go. Maybe you get down from the flight or the bus and somebody will say, hey, will you do my film? And maybe you will be like 5 film interview boxes and you will not know what is happening and you're questioning. But you need to have the faith. The next one. I always say, which is my dream project, it's always the next one. Simple. Yeah. That's how it is. I'm talking about Murderbaad. People keep saying that, okay, now this will change, that will change. I honestly don't think like that. For me, it is about, okay, this is done on 18th. How do I tell people, put my voice out that give me one chance that you visit theaters and rest, I am open to your feedback. I follow certain things that I never delete even a single comment. And I'm saying this on social media. Only reason is I'm open to feedback. If somebody says, oh, you were really bad, I'll be okay with it. Now, if somebody uses a crass language, I'm not going to entertain you because you're not giving me a constructive criticism, what we call.
That's trolling.
And then I don't have time for that. I'm a much bigger person and that just shows where they are and where I am. So let's leave that side. Yeah.
So when it comes to social media game, I have observed that you are so confident that you almost have good amount of following, but you don't follow anyone. So how is that?
I'll tell you.
How relevant is social media factors?
Okay. So I'll talk about the zero following bit.
Yeah.
I like meeting people and knowing about their life, what they tell me. I don't want to know anything about you which you are not comfortable sharing. Okay. So my simple thing is, Ishita, I met you. If you say, I will be back, how was your day? And you're like, okay, this happened, and this was good, and the coffee was good, and the coffee was bad, or whatever. And I will take it and move on to my next meeting or whatever. And that's about it. Now, my impression of Ishita is this. Fortunately, unfortunately, social media, the way it operates, it's been positioned. Like everybody positions themselves in a certain way. Now, if I meet you with knowing your social media, I will have a very wrong idea about you. So I would be like, okay. Now, if somebody says this is a very arrogant way of looking at it, yeah, maybe, because I don't want to follow. Because see, social media, I feel, you really need to control this. This is your best friend, your biggest motivator, and this can be your worst enemy. If I am sitting on a worst day and there are 10 actors who are around me and they are saying, oh, we are in Bali and I signed this from on a set, and suddenly like, what am I doing with my life? This person is here, that person. Hey, you don't know what is happening in there. You don't know what space they're coming from. They might have finished something big and they want to break, and that's why they're gone. But I want to stay away from all of that, like completely. And my social media is a space where I need to communicate as an authentic self with the people who are interested in what I do as an actor, and that's strictly for that.
So, like at your position, now that you know certain people,
Yeah.
you're good to some big names.
Yeah.
So, and few people might follow you.
Yeah.
Now you don't follow them back. तो कभी कुछ ऐसा आपको लगता है कि इंडस्ट्री में उससे कुछ ईगो क्लैश होता है?
आज तक नहीं हुआ.
अच्छा, okay,
Like,
that's amazing then.
Because मैं आपको मेरा फोन दिखाऊंगा. मैं सिंपल बात करता हूँ. Hey, hi, good time to talk. Because I like that space because maybe we already live in a country like with 1.4 billion people. I feel and there's always a space constraint, and the smallest respect you can give to an individual is give them space, and people like that. And then randomly they're saying, "Oh, can you call anyone at 2 o'clock?" I'll be like, "No, why should I do that?" I'll be like, "Hey, little urgent, can I call you?"
Yeah.
Just that has touched wood in my case. I have had the best of the relationships with people, the best of the equations with people, and people open up with you more. So the less nosier you are in someone's life, although people might think, oh, you know what, like this is what best friends are, and you know what you stand for. No, everybody needs space. Sorry, we are too cramped up as a country. So just give that space, and you will have longer lasting equations.
So now if we talk about your films, thoda bahut,
Yeah.
and then like how was your, because you have worked with some big actors, some big names.
Right.
So just the fun question I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
If I take his name,
Yeah.
so what is something that you learned, or maybe you had fun with him, some memory.
Very good team player. Like he is all in for making a film great.
Okay.
He is not selfish at all. And this I've seen with all the biggies. They are so less insecure. Man, like,
Because they also have got that recognition, love, and
Yeah.
acceptance from audience. That's also big motivation.
well, ma'am, see the thing is, whenever someone, and I'm just not talking about actors. Like I love reading. I love listening to podcasts, which so to say, but teaches you a lot. I've always seen this as a pattern. The people who are secure, they always reach out to help, and the people who are less secure, they always see what's in it for me. And just I that's what I've taken from there. And in my own little way, I try and be like replicate that. So if you think that as a formula, that's what I've learned. So Ranveer is that. In one scene when I was stuck with particular thing not doing it, and you have a pressure of saying, "अरे तू जिया की film कर रहा है और तूने 5 take ले लिए," and I was taking 5 minute break. Yeah, like what will she think of me? I've all gone through these questions, so I know खराब नहीं हो जाए impression. He came up to me and like, "छोड़े, क्या हुआ?" like नहीं वो बैठ नहीं रहा है, पर एक ही टेक लगेगा ना, और उनको पता है तू ही है, तो आराम से कर. 5 और भी लग गए, फाइनल टेक तो एक ही लगाएंगे ना, वो जो सही वाला है. Just that sure 2 minute conversation, and we went back. I was like, चलो. I think it took the pressure off so much. I gave the take and the take was okay. So you need to be there for each other. वो जो होता है ना, अरे ये सीन में तो ये उसको खा गया, ऐसा कोई एक्टर सेट पे बात नहीं है. It's a very audience way of looking at it. We always, मैंने जितना देखा है, and whatever experience I have had, we're like, okay, how do we make this scene work? We're like, oh yeah, let's do this. Oh, let's do this. And it's a very building exercise. It's not so. It's not India versus Pakistan. It's all India. If I put in a sports language, We are one team. We are not working against it, because imagine if we are working against it, how dysfunctional the scene would be.
That's true.
So
But हम लोग तो बोलते हैं even Amitabh Bachchan sir he still rehearses. ऐसा नहीं
yeah,
कि he is a veteran तो यार मैं तो अपना आऊँगा अपना मैं कर जाऊँगा खा जाऊँगा नहीं